Did you know that there is a secret difficulty setting to Elden Ring that makes it even harder than NG+7? Anytime you go into a boss fight with a summoned ally, you're giving the boss more HP. And if you bring 2 allies, you are doubling the boss's HP. That multiplier stacks with the NG+7 multiplier, turning every boss into a raid situation, which doesn't sound like something I want to do. So instead, I had my Twitch chat do it for me. I summoned them in and was only allowed to heal and buff them. No damage to the boss coming from me. But obviously they did fine, because I am a fantastic healer. To watch these ones live and maybe help out if we do something like this again, follow us on Twitch. That's where we play game and other game, like Another Crab's Treasure or Kingdom Hearts. Join the Patreon to support the channel. It's the best place to do that. Make sure you like and subscribe. Chat needs your help. They're holding their hands up like the spirit bomb. Hopefully you know that's a bit. This video's already done. If not, maybe switch back to Cocoa Melon. Time to get paid for other people's labor.
Essentially functions to separate the worker from the means of production.
I mean, I'm gonna credit my laborers. They get paid in exposure.
This is worthless.
For Margit, we have Aleph rocking the Europia, a weapon I'm sure I'll get to use at some point, and Chamblit. I feel like I'm being tricked into saying something dirty. Great time to talk about the rules of the run. We can heal, we can buff, we can do anything except dealing damage to the bosses. Even with the massive boost to Margit's resistances, the turkey leg from makes the bleed happen. Truly, if a boss is not immune to bleed, it's weak to bleed. That's just science. Godric is catching hands from Revan and Guantanamo Bay. It's the torture island that we need to break international law. Early for Harris lands, but Barry Obama ran on closing Gitmo in 2008, and we all sort of just forgot about it. Cool! Anyway, Revan's got that new Crucible hammer, and hey, looks like that NG+ damage might be messing people up. I'm trying to use heal from Jafar, but it's not easy to land. I heard you're supposed to just aim it at your toes, but if you aim it at your toes, why not just use Erdtree heal? Like, why get the one that shoots? I don't want to look at the ground. I want to see the cool new weapons. Eventually we ditch it. This is a running theme people seem to struggle to understand, but I think that things that require more work to work as well as things that require less work are worse things. It's like a manual car instead of an automatic. Technically, you can get more fuel economy and speed with that manual, but dog, I'm just driving to the grocery store, or let's be real, the local game store to buy Magic the Gathering cards. I do not need maximum racer efficiency, because I'm not a racer. If our workers are going to do their best, they need a degree. And no, I'm not paying for their degree, and no, I won't pay them more because they have it. What, just because they made the mistake of getting the degree I require for the job?
You fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
First, we kill the dog, or rather, we summon Angelina Jolie to fight the Burger King. Don't look at me. Angelina Jolie, save me! Burger King is a great job experience. Lucius joins for the dog, and oh my god, it's the rot butterflies. Someone's using the rot butterfly spell. He died because of that. Angelina Jolie, it's all up to you. I'm sure you wanted a better healer, Angelina Jolie. Oh, no. It hit! Okay. I was worried I was going to be Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it hit. Oh, you've just got so many different moves. You're like some sort of changeling. Oh. You know what could have helped there if we had Iron Fist, you know, Alexander. All right, with that, we are gone in 60 seconds. I remember that one while writing. But you know what else I remembered while writing? Today's sponsor, Boot.dev. Let's take a moment to talk about today's video sponsor, Boot.dev. Over the course of this video, you're going to be seeing a lot of people who leveled up their characters into very specific, very cool ways. But what's the best build for your real life to level up? Well, according to Stack Overflow, the median salary of a back-end developer in 2023 was $100,000 a year. To me, that sounds like a pretty solid build. And if you want to get the experience you need for the back-end developer class, Boot.dev is the place to grind for it. Boot.dev helps you learn Python and Go programming languages by having you write a lot of code for Python and Go programming. And Boot.dev keeps the experience interesting with an XP system similar to a video game, like Elden Ring, so you can feel like you're leveling up and doing better. There is even a PvP leaderboard if you're a PvP sicko. I know we got some of you in the audience. Hell yeah, good for you. If you're struggling to understand a concept, you've got Boots, a powerful bear wizard who will help explain how to get to an answer rather than just telling you the answer. And that's how you want to learn. You don't want someone just handing you answers here. Also worth noting, the developers of Boot.dev do not want you paying for something that ain't for you. That's why Boot.dev lets you do the classes for free. You only have to pay when you add the RPG elements and the leveling. Click the link in the description to get 25% off your first month or your first year when you use offer code TULOK at checkout. I recommend trying out the free version first, seeing if it's something you would enjoy, and then going for the full year because you get a bigger discount. Again, click the link in the description, use offer code TULOK for 25% off your first month or your first year if you choose an annual plan. Now let's get back to seeing those delightful community builds. As we leave, I noticed someone put their summon sign down by the wrong door, and I felt bad. That was a mistake for them, but it was my mistake pitying them, because that means we actually have to deal with Moongrim since you can't quit out when you summon. But that's okay, Gooby Snoobert is a professional. He's gonna parry Moongrim or get parried by Moongrim. No! Well, thanks, Scooby. Wait, you're still alive? Ah! No! Go fucking heal it! No! Fuck! Oh no, I lost the elevator! Oh, and then we got invaded. Is that an invader? What? When did I get invaded? Little do they know, I have talent in movement. I strafe around, summoning, then notice they're using wing stance. If I can hit the button on the elevator and bait them to land on it after they hit the wing stance, it's all according to Keikaku, which means plan, by the way. Our summon is here, and Forsythia will show this jabroni how we do it downtown. Unless I can't land heal from Jafar, then they get toasted. Back on the elevator. Movement. Oh, he killed himself! Yay! You're trying to tell me with movement I can dodge the invaders?
I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
Forsythia and Gooby get another shot since they protected my ass on the way to the boss. Craig Blade on the Claymore and Power Stance Peelers. Oh my god! What the fuck are y'all doing to her? I'm looking down at my fucking menu and I just see her health bar is gone. Zooming on over to Caelid, it's time for Radahn, but not the easy Radahn in the DLC, the easier Radahn in the base game. Although our summons and ourselves can't use the pony, so it might be rough. We bring in Beth, who was our executive producer for the Another Crab's Treasure video on Tulok Time. Go check that out after this if you haven't. And Nim, rocking the Godslayer Greatsword. Apparently you can still summon all the other buddies, so, you know, I did that. This is the fullest full party. Hitting heal from afar gets even harder with janky terrain and a big environment, but everybody gets it done. Absolute legends. This team is carrying me on their back, but could they carry a manor? Great question. Who knows? Loretta should be pretty free for everyone. Will Farrell is rocking the anchor, and Grass Tyson is rocking the Olivia Rodrigo Greatsword. Just more and more frustration from heal from afar. I'm gonna ditch it eventually, but it ain't here. Hey, Ronnie, she's a fellow job creator, also just asking other people to do the labor for her. Though, I guess with Ronnie, they do it. I'm not marrying anyone who helped us out in these runs. Fred Durst played the dad and I saw the TV glow. I don't know how to feel about that. He's like a director now. Apparently he directed a bunch of the Limp Bizkit music videos too. The more you know. Russ and Texas and Nettie get to hit the Mimic tier. We'll summon them for other bosses too. I think Russin was just doing a bit with the Dancer of Rana cosplay, and Nettie is rocking the Death Knight drip. We'll see them again. Right now they're just kind of kicking a mannequin that can't fight back. I bring Nettie for the Regal Ancestor Spirit and Un Perdedor, which is Spanish for back. It's another big arena, and heal from afar just whiffs everything every time. Erdtree heal is very, very big. Just use that. We're seeing some of those big old health bars as our summon pals are barely chipping away. It's our first L. Well, not our first loss, their first loss.
I'm a perfect person. The people around me are flawed.
Run it back with Beth and Void. People had trouble getting their signs in down here, and this went faster. They were using holy weapons. Deer is weak to holy. Forgot we had to kill Boggart, and the only weapon we have is unupgraded. It's the Commander Standard. If only this wasn't a required fight to get to Volcano Manor. Such violence is necessary. For the Godskin Noble, we have Miquella and nobody else at first. We got invaded when bringing in Crimped They made it in, just took a second to load. PlayStation Network was doing great. They landed a parry though. Through all that lag, pretty impressive. Rykard took 2 tries. Everyone used the Serpent Hunter.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
We'll skip most of the losing runs in general because, like, that's what we do normally anyway. But that also means some names might happen a few more times than others as I rotate our ever-growing cast of characters. Specifically, the cast who was there when I played on PlayStation at the time I was playing, usually in the middle of a workday during the week, and had a working internet connection. Crucible Knight and Mikkel came in against the Valiant Gargoyles, and we had to divide and conquer. Eventually, I just had to leave the Crucible to fend for himself, while Mikkel and I handled the first one. The hitboxes are stupid and we're right on the edge of the cliff and the edge of the gargoyle's HP, it's sort of a double edging session, while these two beat it for me.
Nothing wrong with that.
We're running a bit low on blue flasks, but once the initiative is fixed to be 2-on-1, we're able to get it done. Miquella and Lightning last for Fia's champs, and hey, we're online. They're different today, doesn't really matter, they still suck. I'm not totally sure what's going on during the fight, what stuff's coming out of our folks, what stuff's coming out of the enemies. Our stuff is better. Good work, team. Now we're ready to go to the capital.
They forgot about me.
Oh well, time to beat God with the power of friendship.
Friendship is rare. Do you know what I'm saying to you?
Ah, Tenacious D, a friendship spanning 3 decades that will surely be intact after a quick Google search.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Godfrey Shade is getting a treat from Tetris and Beth. Beth is trying to make me think spells are good, and Shard Spiral is doing a pretty decent job. Tetris is there with a flaming sword made of fire that's so hot it's even on fire how hot it is. Godfrey Shade isn't a problem, even when you give it more billion health. Now Morgott, it's Void and Beth, one of whom brought the shackle. I think that was Void, no way to know for sure. I know they were rocking the meteoric ore blade though, and that looks rad as hell. This is where we logged off for the day. Since we were getting quite a few repeats, I streamed it on 6 different days to make sure that plenty of people were able to play with different schedules. And not because I'm a bad healer. For Harris lands, this whole run is working because of sharing and teamwork, 2 things that are taught as a universal good in your childhood, because they are. If you have more goldfish crackers than you can eat, and another kid has not enough goldfish crackers, you share your goldfish crackers. It doesn't matter if they sucked at the monkey bars during recess, because if you think everyone deserves to live, you should agree everyone deserves to eat. You gotta eat to live. If you don't think everyone deserves to eat, you think being poor is a crime worthy of the death penalty, and in a slow and cruel way, because people starve to death when they don't eat food. Maybe there is moral value to work, and a meal earned tastes better than a meal given. But if that straw man who refuses to even work for a living does exist, I'm actually fine with him getting a meal for free. It seems way less reprehensible than having the money to help that man and making him starve to teach him a lesson. That sounds evil. It's not that simple, then complicated. I'm pretty sure I'm always gonna be on team everyone gets to eat meals. Just kidding. I'm exploiting the labor of Maria and Cryptoblingus, both of which are rocking heavy bleed builds. Fire Giant hangs out on a big old mountaintop, and we have a little more utility here. I'll get the balls. I'll trigger the balls. All right, I grabbed the balls. That should help you both beat it. Phase 2 starts and everyone's so far away from me. It could be bad, if it was. Worth noting again, nobody gets a horse in co-op, so we just have to hoof it, or I guess specifically not hoof it. Godskin Duo is gonna actually be 2-on-2 today with Spiral Sage and Red Thought Chili Pepper. I can't stop running back and forth between them, but hey-o, this is pretty good once the first Godskin goes down. I didn't have time for more Red Hot Chili Peppers references. Californication. More important than the boss fight, we get Cube and Ramby Fimplegan to land the swag jump together. Unfortunately, that means we get invaded again. And on the bird run of all places, disgusting. After both of the allies died, of course. He's all the way back there. I should be able to get to the Grace. Hey, fun fact, did you know you can't rest at a Grace if you're invaded? Because I didn't. I don't play online. Also, he can in fact summon the elevator to come up for him, so I hide. Stealthily, quietly. He'll think I'm upstairs and oh, no, he saw me. Okay, run. Up the stairs, then jump the railing, send the elevator down, and he goes down with it. He got bamboozled. It comes back and we lead him up the stairs again, but he's a little too close. Time to make an epic escape. Shit.
Missed it by that much.
Maliketh is the first real wall of the run, as he damn well should be. But you might ask yourself, why? What makes Maliketh so much tougher than everything else? Well, in my opinion, he's the first of the endgame bosses, with endgame speed, maneuverability, and most importantly, big, stinky hitboxes. With 3 possible targets all drawing aggro and the ability to turn on a dime, it's super hard to predict where Maliketh is actually going to be attacking. You might think you're safe, but then...
Surprise, motherfucker!
He hits you with a 360-degree swing, and it hits you. Or even worse, sometimes he won't be swinging at you, but his swings are so confusingly large, you'd guess he's played by Willem Dafoe. Google Willem Dafoe confusingly large on your work computer to understand that reference. Also, Willem should be Gideon. I know some some of you are thinking Morgott, but that's got Bill Nighy written all over it, not the science guy, Davy Jones, or as some say, Davy Jones. What's worse is that every time we gotta quit out to avoid the Draconic Tree Sentinel outside. So, after 40 minutes, I decide to make chat kill the Tree Sentinel with Immortal Black and Dante. That's right, this video officially features Dante from the Devil May Cry series, and that is not clickbait on the thumbnail. Immortal Black has that repeating crossbow, as does Dante. They clear the Tree Sentinel out no problem, which means on all future runs we won't have to waste as much time running back and quitting out. Still, I give them a shot at Maliketh. You know what Wayne Gretzky says? Shoot a whole bunch of shots, get a whole bunch of thoughts, and take a bunch more shots because of the bunch of thoughts. These two are using poison and rot arrows, which means we have to win this time because there are a finite amount of rot bolts you can get in the game. They're using them for me. We're just playing Mally in the middle here. He might think life is unfair, but he's not the boss for me now, you know? And he's not so big anymore. Phase 2 time, about halfway through it, Immortal Black fails to live up to his name. It's just me, Dante, and the slow tick of poison doing percentile damage. It's going fine until he hits the spin attack, a one-shot most of the time. No! Unless it just knocks us out of the hitbox. Okay, I think we have enough poison damage. Dante dies right at the end. We only took 50 minutes to beat this boss. Sorry, I keep saying we. They took 50 minutes to beat the boss. I would have done it in 10.
Sure, Jan.
Everyone underestimates Gideon, but dude hits hard. I don't think it's a skill issue when chat loses to a boss. I think it is genuinely shocking to get hit with NG8 damage when you're used to playing on NG or NG2 at most. Anyway, Supinduin and Red Thought Chili Pepper absolutely destroy Gideon because it's Gideon and you cannot underestimate him. He is the worst. Godfrey, on the other hand, has hands, big, strong hands, muscular hands that grip and squeeze. Those hands rip up quite a few members of this audience until we make it back in with Immortal Black and Rick. Wait, that isn't Rick, that's a Rick Shasa. Yeah, 10 guesses what DLC NPC he's rocking the gear of. Immortal Black did a little buff suite at the beginning, and that makes their damage pretty massive. Doesn't last the whole fight, but both the summons have bleed, and Godfrey has blood on him. It only took 15 minutes this time. Imagine lasting 15 minutes with Godfrey. Couldn't be me. Before we get that #1 victory royale against Radahn, we need to download Lord's Divine Fortnite-ification for 60% more holy resistance for ourselves and our allies. That is not enough the first time. Oops. Lucius has a big red sword, and Blue Thought is totally not Red Thought's second character, no way. I'm keeping the heals up, but it's harder to dodge the shockwaves when he's looking at other people. Also, Blue Thought is using Falx, which I believe is a bleed machine, and the boss doesn't bleed. Suboptimal build, that's illegal. The comments are gonna roast ya. They actually did great. Unlike Lucius, who died before the Elden Beast came out, the comments are gonna roast you. Seriously though, please, don't in the comments. It's enough that I have to deal with it. Don't make the nice folks who helped out with this run deal with it. I'm joking. Lucius did a great job. Now that said, Elden Beast doesn't bleed, and weapons scaled to accommodate for extra damage from bleed against the boss with the most health in the game, scaled up with more health into NG8, and doubled from double summons.
I will never die.
It's really just an endurance test, metaphorically and literally, since we can't summon Torrent. God, I forgot how miserable it is to not summon Torrent. I'm using every stray Starlight Shard I picked up to maintain the Fortnite-ification and hit the healing spells, because this took 4.5 minutes. Doesn't sound all that long, but it is. For one boss, hell, what is supposed to be one half of one boss. Blue Thought is a trooper, but so am I. It's also important that I don't die. We're a team. And going against the base game super bosses, we need to show that teamwork does make the dream work. We're a community here. Three friends enter one castle's hole together and one of them dies. It was me. I was the one who died. That's my fault. When three people enter a hole at the same time, you don't want to be the first one out, you know? Ironically, we're using Niall's Scepter against him with Nettie and the Grass Tyson, both of whom have a few ranged options. Our healing is way better in this arena because it's smaller. Pretty much always hits everyone with that Erdtree heal. So glad we gave up on heal from Jafar. That was terrible. Hey, it's been a minute since we hit a wall. How about the wall part 2? Personally, I think it's the better half of the album, but but that's also just because Comfortably Numb is an all-time grade for me. Yeah, Wall 2 is Placidusax, big hitboxes, big damage. All the healing in the world can't do anything if us and our buddies get one shot every time, and I count it as a one shot if you get hit by fire and the fire stun locks you into more fire before you can be healed. It also takes forever because the runback is a solid minute 45. Now, I would never tell the members of my community what to do, mostly because it wouldn't work, but things like the nut, the bubbles, and ancient dragon lightning strike were all attempted. The problem is when you crank the HP and stance resistance this high, even those don't really cheese Placidusax. Bubbles and ancient dragon lightning strike I think specifically work so well because the multiple hitboxes also get you stance breaks in NG and NG2, but by the time you get to NG8 you're not doing much. Also, sorry, tangent, I'm done saying NG+X. That sucks. Why are we doing math problems? Just finish the math. NG, NG2, NG3, Genji needs healing. We'll have several solid runs only to be ruined by the Omega Laser one-shotting everyone, except me, because I would never get hit by that. He can do that again?
You sure about that?
Oh, also, if you take too long to kill him, he'll Omega Laser a second time. Neat. Maliketh took 50 minutes, but Placi, that's a nice hour 15. Similar to Mali, the strategy ends up being status effects. Swag Jump Scholar and Red Pots galore were our champions. Swag Jump is wearing very little to boost the Pest Thread Spears with the Blue Dancer charm. Red Pots galore is throwing Red Pots galore. Rock gets applied about halfway through the fight, which will slowly and consistently chip away the moments that make up a dull day. But really, it just works because Placi dives into the wall. Something he hasn't done for me in what feels like a goddamn year. Red Pots has Black Flame Tornado, Swag spammed the nut, and we finally won because the fight worked like it used to for once, for one glorious moment. Then I realized we forgot to fight Estelle. So time to finish the optional Ronnie quest that is mandatory, grab the hourglass, flip the study hall, get the curse mark of death, and hug Fia 3 times. Summoning for Fortisax takes forever. You have to run outside the arena to summon because the arena is also the arena for Fia's champs. Whatever. We have Stephanie Rogers, good for her, and Beth, both of whom remembered to bring ranged options so they can aim for the head. I'm really supportive. Any of you get death blighted, I will laugh at you. Shard Spiral continues to impress. The Yeet Shield from the DLC continues to also be here. Excited to see Cap and Magic the Gathering soon. Finally, let's clean up some shrimp with the Godskin Trader and Beth again. You might notice repeats towards the end of streams because I would just log off if it seemed like most of the audience was going to bed. Sometimes I stream at weird times. That's not chat's fault. Lots of spam from Beth, I'd ask for nothing less. Godskin Trader hits Estelle with the moon, so the spirals do even more damage. It's just a nice little break before we get to the really nasty stuff. Like Moog, who gets a mixture of bleed and drilling. We died a few times trying to line up the proper combo, but it turns out Moog's shackle into big drill, into frostbite and bleed, into more drilling while he just stands there counting because he's taken so much damage it breaks his AI is a great strategy. Loretta ends up being a bit of a problem. You know how I'm always saying she needs more health and damage to be a fun fight? Well, turns out NG8 health and damage are maybe a little overtuned. Boss balance is tricky. We win when a second Captain America cosplay hits the servers. It's Rogers with Derp Trollstone, who's carrying 2 Cragged Blade Giant Crushers. That gets us something we haven't seen in a very long time, a goddamn stance break. Would you believe me if I said Malenia wasn't all that bad? Like, don't get me wrong, it took an hour, but she falls victim to something I'm gonna call the Overpowered Preparation, or OPP. Now OPP, how do I explain it? Let's take it frame by frame it. I'll have you all jumping, shouting, saying, essentially, bosses like Maliketh and some later in the DLC don't have anyone building cheese specifically to handle them. Whereas Malenia, and maybe another boss in the DLC, is hitting everyone with the maximum lactose. Reason number 2 though, Maria and I Heart Malenia. These two are absolute bosses. Maria went toe-to-toe with Malenia at NG8 solo for about 20 minutes before I lost. I'm cutting that run because it's long. Both of them are rocking Furious and Furious bleed builds. I Heart Malenia keeping up some lightning in the pocket just for a little distance action. I didn't realize Maria was a cosplay build for so long, but yeah, it's gotta be a Shadow the Hedgehog reference. Also, Heart brought the Miquella nuke for the Rot Flower number 2, very funny. Seriously though, when I say bleed is the only damage we're getting, that is hardly an exaggeration. It is just chipping away at her with every other hit. And keep in mind, she heals 1% of her HP when she hits you. We have doubled her HP. That's bad. Ends up taking 4 full minutes, but we did it together. Maybe the community is stronger than I thought. Maybe when we put our efforts together, there's nothing we can't do. Yeah, High School Musical came out and Karl Marx copied it, so. But he changed enough that I think he won't get in trouble for it. First up is the Dancing Lion. It's so weird. We're trying to work together, but the bosses keep being so oppressive. I won't do any politics. I'll just pray that our union isn't shut down by this boss in an unfair way. We're laboring hard until we win with Punch Kickman, whose punches have the powers of kicks. And the champ?
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter?
It's a status effect city here. Pretty much necessary for beating the bosses at this point when they have this much health. I'm seeing Eleanor's pole blade. I'm seeing the fancy pickaxe swinging from side to side, side to side. The champ dies. It's just me and Punch Kick Man for the last 40% of the health bar, which is about 3 regular Dancing Lion health bars. But he's always in phase 2, and his resistances are way higher, and he does about 40% more damage. This'll be fine. So Dancing Lion likes to do this funny thing where when I'm healing, he'll body block the person and push them to the other side of the arena. If you're thinking, that's what Heal from Jafar is for, I can't hit that when people are close to me because it's slow and they're moving. So if they move further away from me faster because a boss is pushing them, it doesn't make it easier to hit it because the bullet's kind of small and you can't lock on with it and it doesn't track anything. New biggest wall, something like an hour 40 minutes of attempt, and we skipped all of that in the video because, you know, that's long, not interesting to just watch a bunch of people die a bunch. Maybe I should save the VODs though. Do you want a 5th channel to subscribe to? Rilana doesn't take quite as long, but definitely gives us some trouble. She can also move quickly into turn like Maliketh and the Lion, but at least in phase 1, she's mostly doing combos and they don't stun lock you, so I can get into heal pretty regularly. The savior is once again status effects with Grass Tyson and the champ. Now, some people are repeats because the summoning pool was small, and some people are repeats because they're built different, and I'm only showing the winning runs. I want to clarify, nobody did a bad job. This is hard. The bosses are going to kill everyone in 1 to 3 hits. I didn't expect perfection from everyone. Some people were just able to deliver more wins because of their ability. Some people needed more heals because of their needs. So I deliver to each according to their need, and they deliver to me according to their ability. It's a pretty cool philosophy. I'd give it high marks.
Pass me a glass of Engel's conditions of the working class.
Gaius is a pig, but he's also a big wall. Yeah, he takes like 90 minutes. To be fair, part of that is taking a detour to grab the Sword of Milosh, which means this is the 3rd run in a row where we have tricked the crab into killing the Dung Eater. Can't wait for everyone in the comments to say, just because he eats people, that doesn't mean he's a cannibal. I like him because he's funny. After all this time, we're able to do the roar with the Milosh sword, but that actually doesn't help very much against Gaius because for whatever reason, when he charges, it gets rid of the debuff. It'll still help with later bosses, but that sucks. Link and Triss are here for the winning run, applying the rot and then hitting some black flame. Link also has a lot of holy damage, which Gaius is weak to, but at this point, damage vulnerability is the inverse of bleed. Low defense doesn't really matter. They all just have so much health. Triss gets 1 shot, and it's just me and Link for the last 30%. Now that might seem bad to you because I yada to 90 minutes of this run, but Link is a goddamn dodge tank. He's basically fighting a boboblin here. Makes sense that he's great at it. After reapplying the rot, he's just very, very cautious, even using the Vow of the Indomitable to avoid the super fast charge attack. That's so fun to dodge. Everyone loves dodging it. We get pretty low on HP. Almost looks like we're throwing, but I'm able to save it. After 1 more dive, he dies to the rot, and we've beaten that rotten meat. Oh, and I do mean we, because it's not gay me. It's gay us.
Gay is in, gay is hot. I want some gay it's gonna be.
Messmer is much more reasonable, 70 minutes. And after getting grinded over and over again by phase 2's, there are snakes everywhere that one-shot you attack, I figured we can pretty much just constantly spam the healing spell and it will always do good. Winning run is with Void and Azur. Worth noting, Azur got special treatment and summoned multiple times because she absolutely nearly soloed him earlier until I got gobbled by a big snake. Messmer in the middle and status effects spread him out, and his big snake isn't that much of a problem. Google Messmer spread by 3 tarnished big snake on your work computer to see some interesting fan art people have drawn before the video was out. Wow, people are fast. Void is fully cheeked up in the prelate armor, so much so that they actually live a grab. Also, don't get grabbed is even more important because unless you are specifically spec'd for it like Void was, it's gonna be a one-shot. Azur is hitting the frostbite pretty often, making the snakes go gray, but Void gets the last hit with the bleed. Oh, and the boss fight took 6 full minutes. Romina goes much better. matter, only about 20 minutes here. She's got the same issue as the Dancing Lion. Her body kind of pushes people out of my heals, specifically not in a straight line that would make heal from afar useful. But I think just because she's further in, people respected her more, or at least Void and Chirp did. Maybe it's the Void chip carry, you know. Void's rocking the Great Stars this time, my personal favorite weapon in the game, and Chirp is dancing on the pole. Eleonora's pole blade specifically. Getting rotted doesn't really matter here because I am healing every 3 seconds anyway. It's not like I'm gonna forget to watch the health ticking down. Doesn't matter if the allies get rotted for the same reason. I think because she has rot, they turned her damage down lower than the Dancing Lions. This really just isn't the same kind of problem that fight was. She almost kills us right at the end, but it only takes out Chirp, so we're able to pull it out for the win. For other bosses, I've never requested specific builds, but for the Scadutree avatar, I did. We have Sakura Tetris and Void again. God damn, Void, really just getting W's whenever they were in. But also I told everyone to bring Fire Serpent and spam Fire Serpent. It's not because the fight took a long time or because I thought it would be too hard or I thought we couldn't get it done. It's because I don't like this fight, like at all. It's annoying, it's long, it's ugly, it's repetitive, and worst of all, it's repetitive. It's repetitive. See, I said it 3 times because there's 3 phases for no godly reason. I suspect it's because this game was only meant to be played once. The first time you fight this guy, he seems easy, and then, oh, phase 2, and it's a little harder. But eventually you get through that, and then, oh, phase 3? That's crazy, ha ha ha. But when you're playing the game the second time, it's like, get up. Stop wasting my time. I have things to do. You are annoying. Also, Fortnite makes the Omega explosion in phase 3 trivial, even on NG+8. So not hard, not interesting, just a waste of time. At least it wasn't a big waste of time. We got it done pretty fast. For a big waste of time, let's talk about how we got to backtrack through the Shadow Keep, ride a waterfall, run across a river, drop down a catacomb, and run through it to get to Jori. Not Midra, Jori. May and Miquella helped with this run, which was only run number 2, but I get to help a lot more with this fight. Despite the roar not doing any damage, its stance breaks the ghosts for some reason. Also, apparently Jori can be backstabbed. Also, thank you everyone who pointed out that crits are the thing that have pierce damage on the Dung Eater sword. For like the first 4 hours, the top comment on that build said that the Dung Eater sword had the Claymore thrusting attack, and it doesn't. And I'm glad, I think they deleted their comment after they figured out they were wrong, which is great. I love when people actually realize they're wrong and admit it. That's so nice for once. But no, seriously, thank you for pointing that out. That was driving me bananas. Anyway, May has my favorite, the Great Stars, and Miquella's power stance and katanas, which looks cool. It's what I did in my first run. But with hindsight, I don't love that moveset. I think it's kind of slow. Roar some ghosts and try not to get bullied by the big boy. Roar again and feel the satisfaction of actually contributing something. May and Miquel made shake and bake.
And I helped.
Now back to time wasting. It's Stealth Forest. Are you running through areas? That's too fun. Let's add enemies that make you walk slowly. Midra also goes pretty well, takes about 30 minutes. We bring back in I Heart Malenia and Miquel, balance out those heals. Miquel is rocking the Inosuke approved power stance katanas, but Heart has swapped to the Tuna Tenderizers, the Starfist fillets. Miquel gets roasted much like tuna. Wait, do you roast tuna? That sounds wrong. I'm not a fish guy, it's a texture thing. It's like real meat, but it's mushy and smelly. Good news is, healing range of the Erdtree heal is actually wider than most of Midra's swings, so we can hang out right outside the danger zone, keep the heals flowing. Obviously we get the W here. I am only narrating wins. It's been a minute, but can we get a first try win? Yes, thanks to the Putrescent Knight. Well, not really. It's trying to make us lose. But Sakura Tetris and Link are here to make sure that we don't have to keep doing the big long jump. For those unaware, the summon sign for the Putrescent Knight has to be put down backed by the Grace, meaning that you have to run up the stairs and do the big cowabunga jump, leaving the person who summoned you alone for a few seconds. Apparently, a lot of amateurs will just die before the people they summoned can even drop down to help. But I'm not an amateur. 'Cause I'm a professional! Technically speaking, yeah, I get paid for this. Putrescent Knight can't bleed, so we're doing Knight in the middle this time, with both Sakura and Link pumping out big holy damage, and us lowering that weakness even further by doing the roar. Someone even brought the Miquella nuke. It only gets a wee bit stressful when the blue fire comes out, but we hop it no problem. Gotta love an easy one. If you like watching me ring the bells for Metyr, I'm sorry. There are other videos where you can see that. Another burnout avoidance strategy. I'm just not gonna narrate things I've done 200 times. Should make it better. Metyr does not go as well as the Putrescent Knight. In fact, it goes quite poorly. It had everything our gang is weakest to. Big arena? Check. Questionable hitboxes? Check. Undodgeable attacks? Check. And attacks that do so much goddamn damage they're basically one-shot combos? Yeah, that's a check. Took a nice 40 minutes to get a winning run with Hatsune Miku and Sephiroth. Apparently someone found my AO3 tags. Sephiroth has bleed and slash, obviously, but also meteors and blizzard. Miku's got something. I'm watching the footage back trying to figure out what it was. I think Ant Spur? We get the rot, so I think it was that. Maybe it was Scorpion Stinger. I don't really know. Whatever it was, I liked it. Great work, everyone. Maybe I should have summoned for the Joker stairs, but I had a different idea. Fortnite power. Engage. Yeah, Lord's Divine Fortnitification really makes the Spira stairs so much more manageable. It's Letta time. She's such a coward and won't even fight her own battles. Instead, she's just summoning other people to do it for her.
I do that.
We bring in Rogers and Redmayne Jacob. Rogers being a reference to classic film actor Roy Rogers and his propensity for throwing dinner plates, and Redmayne Jacob rocking all the good Redmayne stuff. Fire swords, gravity spells, the whole thing is a cluster mess, similar to Fia's champs. There are so many humanoid bodies running around and the chaos is kinda delightful. Oh, we even summoned Natan, meaning that today's total body count is Rogers, Redmayne, me, Nutton versus Hornscent, Goodkush, and Letta. By the end, it's 4 of us against 1 Letta, and we are having a good time. Having a good time. All right, 30-minute Radahn? What do you think, 30-minute Radahn? Nah, 10-minute Radahn. 10-minute Radahn, 3-minute Bayle. This is the hardest version of Radahn to ever exist. Second hardest. He would have been harder before they nerfed him. We're bringing in Redmayne Jacob and Heart Malenia. Now, normally, we only show the final round, but these two absolutely deserve their flowers because I kind of screwed up here. They're landing parries. They're getting the bleed. They're sending him to phase 2 so fast. Now, of course, I get the Fortnite funny moments off before the holy phase. I don't want them to die. And then I died. Whoops. That's my bad. Everyone good with giving Redmayne and I Love Malenia another go? We'll give other people a go. Everyone wants to fight Radahn. No, everyone wants to fight Radahn. We'll summon some other people. We'll let other people get some runs in. Okay, so Beth and Derp Trollstone did great too. Derp has the Ant Spur Rapier and the full Morn cosplay, just tanking and stabbing in with those status effects. Meanwhile, Beth is in the back keeping up magic pressure. Putting grease on that shield turns Derp into a full-on wall, letting us reset the Fortnite as we need to. Between the Fortnite and the healing, everyone's doing a pretty great job of staying alive. We even make him jump on the second attempt. Beth gets got shortly after. She wasn't quite as thick as Derp, so a few hits from the biggest Radahn was enough to beat her down. But Derp pulled it out, which means we only took 3 attempts to beat Radahn in about 15 minutes. It's that OPP thing again. Because the boss is overpowered, everyone was overprepared with cheese builds to beat him down. Only Bayle left. If Radahn was easy, I'm assuming Bayle will be too. For the first Ancient Dragon Man, I bring Russ in Texas, and he hits him with the lightning spears.
I've fallen, and I can't get up!
I brought them back for the second one, but also it's Lucius. Neat. Damn, is this Ancient Dragon Man a conservative? Because he's struggling to stand up. Time for sadness. We couldn't find a place to summon people for the Jagged Peak Drake, which means that when we have to go fight Bayle, we won't have Egon.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
We only need about 40 minutes for Bayle. He is a bit of a problem because of the big arena, big hitboxes, big damage, things that are always causing us problems. But in the first fight, when we come back for another stream, Munitions Expert and Heart Malenia got it done. You know Heart by now, bringing that bleed combo. Munitions Expert has every type of ammo and pot and stacks the status effects. Percentile damage is truly our best friend here. By the time phase 2 starts, we have like an 80,000 damage combo going, since the rot stops the number from ever going down. Rot ends when he's about 30%. One more bleed, he's at a sliver, but he hits the Omega Shock, then flies up. We just gotta live it. And he dies off screen while I was trying to figure out where I needed to go to heal. Whoops, that was the first 9 minutes of the stream, so then we just moved on to Kingdom Hearts that I'm working on for Tulok time. Check that out when it's posted. I don't think it will be up, but you can go subscribe to Tulok time and watch the crab video. Now, obviously, I can't review this build, so I guess I'll review co-op in general. It rules. Or I could review the community. It rules. Some people don't like when I get all leftist and start saying horrible things like homeless people don't deserve to be turned into sausage and you deserve a raise. These are horrible things that I will contemplate and reflect on for myself. But it does foster a community of like-minded folks who are chill to hang out with. You're gonna lose people if you keep advocating for basic human rights. Yeah, good. Goodbye. I'll keep hanging out with these great chatters and having fun knowing that the people who are hanging out and beating it for me are chill enough to grab a pizza with. If you like that idea, come hang out on Twitch. We're playing games and learning names. I'd love for you to be a regular so I can learn your name, recognize you, and be happy when you show up. Doesn't that sound nice? Join the Patreon to support the channel and join the Discord community where we play games of Commander on Spell Table every now and then. And make sure you like and subscribe for more great Elden Ring content, but also subscribe to Tulok Time for the variety content, Tulok the Cardbarian for Magic the Gathering content, and Tulok the Barbarian for more D&D homebrew content that will be coming soon.